and welcome to another Sci-Fi Fantasy Saturday. Today, we're going to unbox and take a look at Marvel United Multiverse. Now, I've covered a little bit on Marvel United. Actually, I own more than what I've covered, but basically, what Marvel United is it's a cooperative game that can be played solitaire very easily. In fact, I think they keep adding some solitaire rules to the game. But the game itself, the basic game or the base game, originally started with Marvel United right here. And you get a group of heroes, or superheroes, we should say, and some villains. And it's basically the heroes versus the villain. And the villain is played by an AI. There's a built-in deck for the villains that not only controls how they move around the board to different locations, but also the different threats that they pose. You know, they kind of have their built-in henchmen, so to speak. And the heroes have their own unique deck, and they basically have to team up. They have to play off each other's cards in some manner to defeat the villain. Now, each one of the sets that they've added has added more heroes. Here's the X-Men. And it's added more villains, and they've actually added some tweaks to the game, so to speak. I mean, they've added some different rules, so, maybe modified how some of the heroes work together as teams, or how the villains go about their dastardly deeds. But the system has kept on expanding. Here's Spider-Man. Let's go over here. Here is the Guardians of the Galaxy, and here is Tales of Asgard. Now, all these are what I have are retail versions. What does that mean? Well, this has been kickstarted to death. There's been a ton of content out there. When they released this, they basically, I think, kickstarted most of it, if not all of it. And I've picked up retail versions or after the fact type versions. But there's a lot of stuff in this universe. And as I said about the tweaking of the rules, this latest one, Tales of Asgard, they added a traitor element where there's a member of your team that's been tricked by Loki and is a traitor and is not necessarily pulling their weight or doing what they need to do for the team. So what does this add to it? Well, as I said, I just showed you everything that I have for this. I also have I think a Doctor Strange promo or Doctor Strange character that's in one of those boxes. But that I've shown you everything I have. There's like so much more. There's a multiverse of it. There's really a ton of stuff in this system. And so if you like this system, if you like playing cooperatively with your friends, my girls like playing this game, or if you like having a solitaire experience, and you like the Marvel Universe and you don't mind having some little cutesy figures, then this is probably a game you should take a look at. So what is the multiverse here? It's adding a ton more characters, and I believe this is a base box. When I showed you with the original Marvel and then the X-Men, those are base box, means they have all the stuff you need to play the game. Those last three I showed you, you're going to need to use one of the base boxes to play the game because it has all the base cards. This I believe, is a base box and can be used to go into the multiverse. And everything is compatible, backward, forward, whatever. You can use any of this stuff with any of the other stuff. Mix and match heroes, mix and match villains, and what have you. So here we go. The fabric of reality is bursting at the seams as new threats emerge from all corners of the multiverse. Variants of the most dangerous supervillains reach out through the space and time to seize power. But where powerful villains rise, so too must mighty heroes. They'll travel across dimensions in a desperate struggle to protect the innocent, face threats, and confront these villains once and for all. So this is basically, you're getting the multiverse version of not only the villains, but also of these heroes. So, we have Captain Carter instead of Captain America. We have Loki as a hero. That's based on the TV series, I think. You have Ironheart, which is a different version of Iron Man. Spider-Man 2099. Mighty Thor, which is, of course, Natalie Portman. And then you have Black Panther Shuri. So different versions of the heroes. What does this add to it? Let's see here. I think it talks about here. Take on the role of the multidimensional versions of iconic Marvel heroes, cooperating to stop the master plan of a powerful villain controlled by either the game or another player. So yeah, I think they've added that to the game too, where you can actually have a player control the villain. But the game started out where it was all based on, it was all done by the system itself, kind of a bot, so to speak, its own deck of cards. Each villain unveils their unique master plan with cards that trigger different effects, and threats pose challenges across the locations. Besides relying on their unique equipment, that's something they've added here. They now have equipment. Heroes must carefully choose their cards and play from the deck. They not only offer different actions and superpowers to use, but also combine with actions of the other heroes to do the impossible. Build your storyline, unite your powers, and save the day. Sorry about the glare on that. So this is adding in equipment, and that's one of the reasons I picked this up, because they're adding equipment for some of the previous sets in here as well. I think I don't know if they say it. Yeah, includes equipment cards for heroes from the original Marvel United, the X-Men core boxes, as well as Rise of the Black Panther, Into Spider-Verse, Tales of Asgard, Guardians of Galaxy Remix, and Blue Team expansion. So you now have equipment. Now, the way the equipment works, as far as I understand it, is you take out your Double Wild. Double Wild is a pretty powerful card in your deck, because that is just what it says. You can do whatever you want it to do, but it does it twice, and once you play it as your last card, your teammate, the one who plays next, they're going to be able to get that benefit. So, but you take that out and you add the equipment in, and the equipment is reusable, and it might have like a cooldown period, but it's basically reusable. I don't know if I'm going to be getting rid of my double. I know there's a balance issue, but if everybody does it, then maybe it's okay. But I like to keep my doubles, and I might try the equipment as well. So here's the box. Nice thick box here. Well, thick for CMON purposes. Here's free CMON content. Oh, we got some content here with the UR code. With a QR code there. All right. Here's the rules. The rules are not complicated. This is not a complicated game, but as you say, you get a lot of content in here. This is all the stuff you get. So again, this is kind of a core box, so you can play the whole game here. The rules are not very hard at all. You're going to have locations around here. You're going to move from location to location. You're going to try to beat off the baddies, the villain who's creating havoc. You can't attack him directly until you knock out at least complete 2 of these missions. Then you can start doing damage directly to him. That's the base game. Each villain is a little bit different, and they do things a little bit differently. And you do that by playing your cards. Here's all the different icons. You have a move, you have an attack, you have a heroic action, and then you have that wild that I was talking about. And here's some additional rules. And you now have some anti-heroes. So these are people that can be either a villain or a hero. So that's something they've added over time as well. And you got your commander solo mode. So they've actually, tweaked the solo mode over time as well. I mean, you can play the original one just because it's a cooperative game. You can play it solo, but they've actually added different rules to augment that. And here's your rule summary right there. Here's all the bits and bobs that you need for the game. These are, the baddies or civilians on the backside that you either have to take away or rescue. That's part of those, required missions you have to do before you can do damage. This is villain damage. These are double-sided. They're good thickness, good quality here. These are some special tokens you get with those actions over time. This might be tied to that specific villain there. Okay. And then you have a built-in tray here to keep everything in its place. So these are the locations. We'll take a look at those. These are the special villain charts. And then, of course, a lot of cards in here. And everything fits back in nicely. So here's some of the minis that you get. Here is Ghost Rider. He is an anti-hero, so he can be a hero or a villain. There's Dr. Doom. I think it's Dr. Doom Cosmic or something like that. Mortis. I think his, I'm kind of interested to see how his villain track looks. Maestro. And then we got all the villains that the heroes that we talked about. But so you get some nice little minis here. They're a little chibi-ish, but and a little cute. But you know, this is kind of meant to be a family game. It's kind of cool. And as you saw, I have quite a bit of content. But again, I don't even think I have a third or even a fourth maybe of what is out there. So yeah, there's quite a bit in this space, and you can kind of pick and choose. All you need is a core box, and then pick and choose what you like. You know, which one of the ones heroes and villains that you want to go into, and that's what you do. Man, I'm having a hard time holding on to this. So here's Maestro, and so they're gonna have a special rules and how you take them out. And he's got special setup there. Here is Cosmic Ghost Rider. This is his villain card because he can also be a hero, so he should have a deck of hero cards in there. Emperor Doom and Immortus. So Immortus doesn't have health, so I got to read up on him. That's interesting. He doesn't have. Normally they have a setup health depending on the number of players you have, and he doesn't have that. And here's the villain dashboard. You're going to have to unlock 2 of these before you can start doing damage on him. And there you have it. And so let's look at the locations here. I'd love to know any of your guys' thoughts on this, what you think about this series or this game. Might have to go offline for this. These are hard to get off. Very, very tightly packed. All right. Did a little bit of starter on each one of these little shrink wrap packs so we can get to them a little bit quicker. Because I've rambled on long enough, right? They pack these, shrink these really tight here. Okay. So these are the locations. So, and again, you can mix and match these with, these are kind of tied to these characters and these villains, but you can mix match these with any of the other Marvel United content. And so you're going to have a starting out. This gets 3 baddies on it, and you got to, you know, defeat them. You don't want to have an overrun. So this is kind of, the Marvel United system is based on some of the principles in Pandemic, where you've got stuff coming on the board, and if it overruns, it's bad things are going to happen. So it's kind of like an outbreak in Pandemic. So and part of the thing is capturing these is one of the missions, and also rescuing civilians is another one of the missions. So those are things that are going on. Plus, there's collecting the tokens that are on these. Is I think the third mission that you really have to do to unlock before you can take on the baddie. And then once you there's going to be, the villains are usually going to have a card here that they're what they're doing here. You have to defeat that, and then you usually through heroic action, and then it reveals a special ability for you at this location. So you got a lot of different locations here. And these are decent stock. They're not super thick, but they're thicker than just, you know, paper, or kind of like a poster board type situation. And that's for Loki, right? And so there you have it, the locations. And I've already ripped some of these, or thought I did. Let's see how well I did. These are some of the cards you're going to have here. These look like the hero cards. So each character is going to have their own deck. So here, that's Ghost Rider's hero deck. So each of these are the hero decks, and they're going to have their own special ability. So you're going to play 2 cards, and the second card you play, I think you play 2 cards. I can't. It's been a while since I played. But whatever you play, I think you can play 1 maybe. But whatever you play, the other player can play off of that. They're going to be able to use your symbol and then play their own symbol. I think maybe play 2. And there's that coveted double wild there. And then they're going to have some special, these are just symbols, and then they're going to have some special abilities that only they can do, that is unique to their character. So you're going to have a whole deck of these for each character. And that's how you play the game. You're going to be playing these symbols to move around the board, to fight stuff, to do heroic actions, to use their special abilities, and you're kind of teaming up to do it. There's Loki. There's Cosmic Ghost Rider. So he's got some interesting... see, like he can defeat all those baddies at that location, stuff like that. Then you got the Thor. All right. So then we got some... these are the, I believe, are the villain cards here. And the basic setup card. So there's your... You got to defeat the thugs, you got to rescue civilians, and then you got to clear threats. So you got to do 4 of those. You got to... Whoa, geez, that was great. You got to do 9 for each of those, and then 4 of those. That was awesome. So let's see what I have left for my what didn't explode in my hand here. So this is Immortus, his deck. Having a morning, need my coffee. So he's going to have, this is how he moves around the board, what kind of chaos he wrecks upon each of those locations when you pull this card and he moves around. Again, you really can't touch him until you break through one of those 3 things that you need to unlock. And then he's going to have his own unique threats. So these are going to go on those locations, and you have to do this. You have to, these are kind of like his henchmen that you have to get rid of or beat before you can actually so you can clear that threat or unlock that position, that special ability that's at that location. Here's Doom. He's got his whole set and his unique threats. And then you have Ghost Rider, so he can be played both. He can be played as a villain or with his own threats here. So again, there's a lot in here, and it does it very well as an AI. Kind of plays, you play against it, and it's tough, and you can ratchet it up. Here's Maestro. Don't really know much about him, and then his henchmen or the threats you have to beat for him. Then we have these superhero, supervillain. What are these? I'm not sure if I know exactly what these are. I think these are the plans. This is something that has been introduced since the first game. I don't think this was in the first set, but something I need to kind of figure out a little bit about what this does. And then you have these challenges. This is something they add. These are like those new unique rules that you can add in. And so they're like different challenges that you can add in to spice up the game. And this is like, this challenge, I think, was that trader element in Asgard was one of the challenges in there. And the last thing, one of the reasons I picked this up, and I think I haven't said it yet, but this is going in Kilroy's Bargains. I really didn't have a lot of interest in the multiverse. I really haven't got caught up into the Marvel as much on that. I did like the, some of the earlier stuff and the whole, the Affinity Stone arc, but Multiverse is okay. I'm just not as big into it, and I'm not really a big comic book person. I'm mainly from the old-time comics and then some of the movies. But this was, I got this as a bargain. This was a steal for what I got it for, and plus it just adds more characters, and I wanted to get my hands on some of these equipments to see how these play. So you've got equipment for the people that are in here, and for some of the older characters as well. I think that's some, yeah. So then there's also, I think, some generic equipment in here as well. These are battle plans. That's something that's new too, or not. I don't know how new it is, but it's newer than I don't think that was in the first set. I just don't recall that, what that was about. And here's some of the older stuff. Ant-Man suit, Black Widow. There's Captain America's shield, so all the other good stuff in there. So there you have it. That is all the stuff that you get in a box of Marvel United Multiverse. Quite a bit of stuff going on there. Sorry I didn't do it justice, but, I think I showed you enough to see if you're interested in this or not. Anyway, thanks all. Take care. Thanks for watching.